Hi guys, it's Moa, aka Swedish Whiskey Girl, and we're here with another little dram for you. So today we are trying the Lindores Abbey Aquavitae, and Aquavitae is of course Latin, which means the water of life, in Swedish livets vatten, and that is also where the Scottish name of course for whiskey comes from. So the water of life is uskabea in Scots Gaelic. And of course uska became whiskey after a wee while. So this is actually a distillery that does not quite yet have their own whiskey, but they have of course been distilling for almost 3 years. I think they have been distilling for 3 years this coming December, so December 2020. But what we have here is their really nice aquavitae. If you don't know what aquavitae is, it's quite known in Scandinavia, for example, as akvavit, and to be officially called akvavit, it has to be flavoured with dill and caraway in Scandinavia, but of course here in Scotland they don't have the same rules. So what they've done at Lindores is that they've taken their new make of their lovely stills, and then they have infused it with spices and herbs, and I know some raisins as well, and it gives it a really lovely flavour. I actually was lucky enough to go to Lindores a few weeks ago, and if you'd like to read more about it, I've linked the link to my blog piece about it just here below, so feel free to check that out as well. And one quite funny thing with the distillery is that they are 3 meters away from the Highland line of being in the Highlands, so they're actually a lowlands distillery. We are going to have a little taste of this, and I think there's stuff like lemon verbena in it, and some spices like cloves and cinnamon, and of course the raisins as well, which gives it a lovely sweetness. It's all natural and no added sugar. But let's have a little look. Yeah, you definitely get that lovely raisin sweetness immediately, together with some lovely spices. I think the cinnamon kind of gets you the quickest, but there is definitely some cloves lingering behind the cinnamon as well. It definitely has a lovely like floral note that makes the raisins a little bit more mellow, but you still get that sticky sweetness coming through. But I think we should have a taste. Slanjava, skål. I think this is really nice. It's quite a big difference between the Scandinavian aquavit that you tend to find and this here, because this has a different kind of sweetness, I would say, than you would find in most aquavits in Scandinavia. They tend to be made from potatoes or grains as well, but they almost have a more kind of vodka, alcohol heavy note in them, with these kind of, not always bitter, but kind of sharper notes of different spices and herbs. This is more on the sweeter side. It's very nice to drink neat, and I know that Murray, who's the brand ambassador for Lindores Abbey, he also serves it with some ginger beer or ginger ale, which is really nice as well. We got to try that at the distillery as well. And even now on the finish you can feel that spice lingering at the back of your tongue, and still a bit of that sweetness. It's quite rich in flavour, and it's very interesting that they've taken that new make and then soaked it in the herbs and spices to give it that kind of rich notes coming through, instead of if you infused those flavours before distilling, because then you would lose quite a lot of them, like you tend to do with perhaps gin, where you would soak and infuse and macerate your ingredients first and then distill. So I just think it's nice, and I think you can see that it has this lovely kind of brownish amber hue to it, which of course comes from the raisins. It's not been matured on anything. It would be interesting to see if they did mature it, however, see what other flavours you would get from it. But yeah, I think it's lovely, easy to try neat. I think it would also be lovely with some ice on a hot summer's day. Have you tried aquavit or aquavitae from Lindores Abbey? Please let me know what you thought, if you like it. It is quite different to whiskey, of course, but in the old days this is kind of what they would do. When they distilled something, they would also flavour it with spices and whatever they had around to make it easier to drink. But I do think it's really stunning, and when we were at the distillery we actually also got to try their new make, which has this lovely fruity, sweet note as well. So I think that, along with these spices and the ingredients that they used for this, definitely comes together and gives a really lovely drink. So yeah, let me know what you think below. Slàinte mhath, skål!